Wayno here from the Wayno Project. If you tried everything, hiring a mindset coach, taking courses, repeating affirmations every day, and still have not seen the reality you want appear, then maybe the issue is not your desire. All right? Maybe the issue is the approach you have been taught to take. So today, I want to offer a different way at looking at manifestation and not the usual surface level teaching. I want to share a lesson that goes in a very different direction from what most manifestation teachers are saying or teaching. Just a different pathway, a different lens. And maybe for some of you, a more powerful way to finally understand how manifestation really, really works. With 2026 shaping up to be a pivotal year with the current geopolitics landscape, the energy crisis, and the overall economy across the world, have you hit a wall or plateau in your monthly income? If you are working a job right now, are you concerned and worried about the state of your employment right now with all of the AI capabilities that are coming online, AI agents that are wiping out departments? Is there urgency for you? If you're listening to the video, you're seeking knowledge. Is there urgency for you to try to spin up or make sure the business that you're running outside of your job make enough income so that if you do get fired because of technology advancements or whatever, if you do get fired, you're able to sustain your life? Now more than ever, it's important to be present and not let your mind become your worst enemy during this time that we are in. If you do that, if you are letting your mind become your worst enemy, most likely it is keeping you plateauing in your income, or it's keeping you stuck at a certain income level. Most entrepreneurs and business owners I talk to, whether they're making 15K, 20K, 50K a month, most of those individuals are multitasking as part of making the money. And that part is fine. That's the gift. The curse is multitasking without consciousness and awareness. That is where the leak is in the business or in the income. Being present is a must. If you're trying to level up and manifest your desired reality. Hit your goals. Build a life you say you want. You have to be present enough to notice the forces, to recognize the patterns, the opportunities that are happening to you and around you right now. Right now. So why does this matter? Because when you learn how to stay present, you gain more control over yourself, over your thoughts, over your emotions, and how you respond to life. And by the way, I'm on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge right now, one of the scariest bridges on the planet. It's a 5-mile long bridge, maybe longer, but it gets up to 186 feet high above the Chesapeake Bay water. The famous Chesapeake Bay, let me say that. Famous for the Merlin blue crab and seafood as well. So many motorists have needed service or assistance getting over this bridge. Okay, so back to the point. Being present, we're talking about. A lot of mindset coaches say you need to learn how to be present. Right? You hear that a lot online, especially from mindset coaches. Be present. Learn how to be present. And I do not fully agree with that statement, because you do not need to learn how to be present. You need to learn how to become aware so you can recognize when you are not present. Real talk. The moment you realize you are distracted or lost in thought or mentally or somewhere else, this is the moment awareness kicks in. The moment that you realize this is when your awareness kicks in. And the awareness is what brings you back. Does that make sense? The awareness, being aware that you're in thought, is what brings you back. The truth is, you already present. You feel me? You're already present. Your body is always present in the present moment. Your body, always present. You are always present. You're already present. Your body is here, present, right now. By the way, shout out to the OJs. Song back in the days. Your body is here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. Back when music was music. Shout out to the OJs. Listen to the song. If you heard it before, then you know what it is. But if you haven't heard it before, go look it up on YouTube or somewhere. But your body is here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. Classic. Let me don't jump into music right now. Let me stay on top. Stay on topic. But your body is always present. And that's the point. Your mind may be somewhere else. Maybe your mind is replaying something in the past or worrying about something in the future. Or running through made-up scenarios that never ever happened. the mind gets pulled out of present moment. Got it? The mind gets pulled out of the present moment into a timeline of past, present, and future. Why does this happen? Because the mind is built to organize, to predict, to protect. That's what the mind is built to do. The mind uses time as a tool. And this is useful for survival and planning, right? Especially 100 years ago, 200 years ago. The mind is used as a tool for survival and planning. But today, definitely comes at a cost. Comes at a cost. Listen up. Instead of just experiencing the moment, the mind is always, it's constantly doing comparisons and analyzing, projecting. So it pulls you out of direct experience and into a mental time block. The problem is that doesn't represent the full reality. And that matters because if you want to manifest your desires, if you want more clarity and more power or more alignment, then you have to become more rooted in the present. There's no way around it. Why? Because your body is always in the present. Your mind is just always on travel. Right? Your mind is a powerful instrument. It can move you into old memories. You can imagine the future with your mind. Right? So many things that we could do with our mind. But think about it this way. If your mind imagines, just think about it. Work with me for a second. Just think about this for a second. If your mind imagines something painful, right? Something stressful, something threatening to it, your body may react with anxiety, with sadness, with tension, right? From your mind imagining. If your mind imagines something exciting, something loving, empowering, your body may respond with joy, hope, confidence, more energy. This is where a lot of feeling come from. They come from where the mind is placing its attention. That makes sense? The feelings that you have, that you experience throughout the day, it comes from where your mind places its attention. So a lot of what you are feeling every day is tied to what your mind is focused on. Can you be aware of what you're focusing on? Let that sink in for a moment. Strengthen your awareness. Go above thought to be aware of what you're thinking. See your thinking. See your patterns. Anything you remember from the past or imagine in the future is still being experienced right now in your awareness, right? Even tomorrow is only experienced when it becomes now. So you could think about tomorrow, but you can't live it yet. When tomorrow arrives, it shows up now. So if you want to feel more grounded, especially now, today, in 2026, you want to feel more grounded, you want to feel more clear, more powerful, then you must bring your attention back to this moment, back to the present. This is especially important if your business had plateaued. This is especially important if you hit a goal and then somehow sabotage yourself right out of it, right after hitting your goal. This is especially important to know and learn if you finally met your dream partner but cannot hold on to the relationship because your mind is too scattered. Your mind too fearful, too disconnected. Your mind is on the other side of town. So being present is what helps you see where the opportunity is. It's an important message to hear today. If you are present, you notice the employee or contractor giving you 5 hours of work while you paying them for 8 hours of work, right? Being present. If you are present, you notice in your business that keeps draining time, that's draining out the money and energy when you're present. You realize it might be time to invest in an AI chatbot or an agent to support customers visiting your website, right? The point is, if you're present, you catch what distracts most people. You know, there is a big misconception when it comes to thought. And what do I mean by that? Well, most people think they are personally creating every thought in their mind. This is incorrect. You never think a thought. You and I receive thoughts. That we receive, our brain receive thoughts, but we never create thoughts. So this is a misconception. When I'm saying I'm thinking a thought, you can't do that. Your brain receives thoughts. Some thoughts lift you up. Some thoughts pull you down. Some thoughts are full of peace and vision and power. Some thoughts are full of fear. stress, limitations. So you might be asking then, Wayno, then where are thoughts coming from? All right, what do you mean if I'm not generating the thoughts that are in my skull? What do you mean by that? What I mean is thoughts come from the field. The field responds to your frequency. So whatever vibratory state you live in will influence the kind of thoughts you receive. And what that means is if you are constantly getting negative thoughts, it is a sign that you're tuned into the wrong frequency. Okay, we gotta speak truth today. This might be uncomfortable for people to hear, but we have to be truthful when providing the knowledge. If every day you wake up, most of your day is filled with negative thoughts, defeated thoughts, fearful thoughts, it's a signal that you're tuned into the wrong frequency. You are not your thoughts. You are not your job title. This brings up a whole way of seeing depression or people who battle with depression. Right? If you think about the lesson today of being present, be in the present. Understand that you are not your thoughts. You do not generate thoughts. Thoughts come from the field. Then what is depression? Depression exists inside of the thinking and thoughts, right? So if you want to get rid of depression, you must learn how to escape the thinking mind. Must learn how to be present. Be aware. Learn how to control the mind and turn off thoughts. It's a difficult thing to do. Just had a meeting with a potential client. Luckily, the potential client is close to home, downtown DC, and she said that her mind just races all day. That she got to have 3 things going on at one time. She said when she does work, she has about 20 tabs open on her MacBook. And she can't just sit still for 1 minute without her mind thinking about something else. So the question you have to be asking yourself is, can you change your thoughts and your thought patterns? And the answer is yes. You do it by changing your natural vibrations state, changing your frequency. And this matters because you are not really manufacturing reality from scratch. You're experiencing reality. You're selecting the reality that you want. Right? There are many possibilities of the reality currently right now. And where you are right now is the reality that you selected. Quantum physics point to this idea. Before something becomes physical, or before something becomes physically real, it exists first as probability. It exists as potential. And there are infinite possibilities, which means infinite outcomes and infinite results. Infinite versions of realities that exist beyond your immediate awareness. When an observer focuses and interprets and gives attention to one of those possibilities, it collapses into a specific experience. That makes sense? That means reality is not only about what's out there. It also is about what you are consciously and consistently locked into, or locked and loaded into, as I like to say. Even when you're not thinking about a certain reality, it does not mean it disappears. It still exists. It is simply outside of your awareness. Do you see what I'm saying? That makes sense? So, how do you move into the reality you actually want? The real secret is conviction and repetition. Conviction and repetition is how you move into the reality that you desire. Why? Because conviction is what stabilizes your inner state. It firms it up. Right? The repetition work is what trains your mind, your body, and your nervous system to stay in that reality. Why? Because when you repeatedly hold the same vision, the same assumptions, the same identity, when you repeatedly hold the same internal knowing, you stop entertaining random BS, right? The random stuff that pops in your head, it just passes through your mind. It's not even in your focus. You care less. You begin tuning yourself into a different frequency. And once your frequency changes, the thoughts change. Once the thought change, your focus change. Once your focus change, the reality your experience begins to change. This is why repetition matters. Why your conviction matters the most. You do not get the reality you casually. You notice I said casually. You do not get the reality that you casually want. You get the reality you consistently tune yourself into. So, the real question, or the tough question, how do you become more present? How is this possible where social media and the news outlets, podcasts, music, people. There's so many distractions that are happening all around you. How do you become more present in this moment? Well, there's a couple ways. Of course, meditation. That's the basic way, right? I'm not going to rehearse that, because you should know that. If you've been tuning in, you should already know that meditation is what stills the brain, stills the thoughts, or clears the brain. That should be common. What I would say is, when your mind drifts into fear about the future or any type of pains that comes from the past, you have to notice it, right? And gently bring it back to present, right? The noticing part is how presence begin, how you become present. The fact that you can notice it, right? The fact that you can notice it, it starts the whole process of becoming present. It begins to strengthen that awareness that we talk about a lot. When thinking about the mind and why it does what it does and how to deal with the mind, you have to understand that the mind is a tool. And that's how you should view your mind. It's a tool. It's something you use. Simple as that. It's a tool that you use. It's not the deepest part of who you are. Did you get that? This is a mistake that many people make. They believe the mind, the thoughts, is who they are. Somebody calls you a lame, and next thing you know, the mind says, I'm a lame. And next thing you start believing that's who you are. Maybe a bad example, but the point is, you are not the mind. Should view the mind as a tool. Not let the mind run you, where it's dragging you to fear and regrets, overthinking things. You have to bring your attention back. One exercise that has created some of the biggest breakthroughs for my high-performing clients is also one of the challenging exercises. And I require it because I know how important this is to everything. But it's a challenge for many, especially high performers, who only thing they've known all their life is to hustle. Right? This skill set is one of the most important things, that I teach and mentor, because honestly, it is the most important thing. That's why I take it very serious. So one of the things that, and this can be a free game, free lesson, but one of the exercises that I have my clients go through is awareness exercise, right? So just real quick, how it works is, if you have a phone for the next 10 days, set an alarm that goes off every hour while you're awake. Okay? Now, when I did this years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, the lesson was set the alarm for all day long. So including nighttime. And that means waking up every hour at nighttime and being aware. But we're gonna keep it rated PG. We're gonna keep it rated PG. So set alarm for an hour while you're awake. Right? Keep it simple. When the alarm goes off, pause for 60 seconds. Do not stop what you are doing physically. What I'm asking, just pause internally. Then ask yourself slowly during that pause, what am I doing right now? Ask yourself slowly. And I'm aware of what I'm doing. Who is the observer noticing this action? Who is seeing right now without my eyes, with these eyes? Who is doing the seeing? Who is doing the hearing right now without my ears? Ask yourself slowly these questions. Do not try to answer these questions or come up intellectual with the answer, with an intellectual answer. Just answer it. And notice and observe. Then after a few seconds, return back to what you were doing. What this does, you do this for 10 days, and my clients a little bit longer, but if you do this for 10 days, you're training the muscle to be present. This is how you shift your life. This is how manifestation happens. This is how you notice the real shift in relationships. This is how you have peace in the way you move through life. This is it. This is the key. Become more aware, be more present, train the mind. Okay, don't let the mind pump fake on you. When you become present, you start getting downloads from your higher self. Let's just keep it at that. You have access to a higher self. And you become truly aware that you're not your thoughts. The other thing, if you're not at a place right now that you can do a full 10-day exercise, then I would say start smaller. Take simple steps to bring more presence into your life. Let me say it another way. Let's shrink your reality down, right? Shrink your reality. And what I mean by that is, then don't try to control the whole entire your whole entire future, trying to do things by force or anything. Instead of trying to bring presence that way, let's just say you just focus on small steps, right? This moment, this hour, this choice of conversation, this moment, just focus on the small stuff. Okay, when you start doing that, just like this conversation, I'm just going to be present here. When you start doing that, the smaller scale, just smaller steps, you start seeing a shift as well. You become more calmer, more grounded, more connected, more open to insight. And why this matters? Because when you shrink your reality, you start realizing that a lot of the things upsetting you are not even happening right now. That's a highlight. Make sure you clip that up. A lot of what is stealing your peace It's not happening right now. Let's pause for a cause. It's just happening in your mind. And that realization alone, just knowing that, can bring a deeper level of peace. Because you begin to see that much of what is running through your system is just mental replays. Here's a good way to look at it, or a simple way to look at it, or something that you can, you know what, write this down as a note. Write this down. Simple way to look at this. All right. If it's happening now, it is real. If it's not happening now, it's an illusion. Write it down again. If it's happening now, it's real. If it's not happening now, it's an illusion. That does not mean it feels fake. It means it's not happening at this moment. And the more you train yourself to see that, the more power you take back from the mind. That makes sense? So, I want to dig deeper into this lesson, and give you more backup on this. So let me shift a little bit in the lesson today. So in quantum physics, okay, in the quantum world, quantum physics of the present moment, things get interesting when you start looking at it from the quantum world as relates to present moment. I think you'll have a better understanding why the present moment is the key to your manifestation. Okay, this is the lesson today that's a little bit different from other mindset coaches, right? Just giving you a different alternative if you're struggling. All right, I always like to, when I giving these lessons, to either make sure with an exercise or provide some type of foundation piece as well as part of the lesson so that you can understand the why. Because that's how I was, when I started out 15, 20 years ago, I question a lot. I always ask why. And so I always want to give whys to these lessons. So why is it important to be present? How do being present has anything to do with manifesting anything? If I want something, why do I got to be present to want something? So I wanted to always give that baseline for the why. And I think the first thing you got to understand is how the mind operates, right? How the mind operates. So there are 3 levels of the mind, right? So the first level is 3D, the conscious mind. This is the physical dimension that we're in. This is the outer world that I've talked about throughout this lesson, right? The external state. This is where you can hear and touch and see things, right? The problem is 99% of the population believes this is the only thing that exists. Right? This 3D world. This is where reality is experienced. The change is you know that you're not just operating from this 3D world, physical condition, physical reality, right? This is not where reality is created. The second level, so the first level is conscious mind. The second level is the 4D. This is the subconscious mind. This is where your core beliefs live. And the problem is most of these beliefs were formed throughout your life, right? They were shaped from church, from your parents, mostly from your parents, by the way, but from your parents, the community, the culture. All of these things have shaped the subconscious and how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. The trap here in the 4D is that many of these beliefs become like hidden programs that run your life. You might say that you want one thing consciously. I want this new car. But if the subconscious mind is carrying a different belief, then the subconscious mind is going to win. The third level of the mind is the 5D, the field of possibilities, the quantum, right? You can call it quantum field, call it pure potential, call it the infinite flow, call it the invisible layer. And in the 5D, when you're truly present, this is why I've talked about presence throughout this lesson. When you're truly present, what you desire already exists in another dimension of possibilities, in the quantum field. In the quantum fields, many versions of you already exist. The wealthy version of you, the struggling version of you, the confident, the fearful version of you. They all exist right now and are active right now in the quantum space, in the 5D. Now, here's the part most people miss. Your subconscious mind or your subconscious belief acts like a magnet or sticky, or let's just stick with magnet. It's the strongest thing I can think about right now. But your subconscious beliefs, all the stuff that you has formed a belief of you from the subconscious mind, right? From the programming that's happening. It determines, this beliefs, which acts like a magnet, helps determine which possibility of you gets pulled into the 3D, that gets pulled into your reality. Let me say that cleaner. Your subconscious beliefs act like a magnet, and by doing that, your subconscious beliefs pull certain possibilities from the options available to you. Then over time, those possibilities show up in your 3D life, in the physical world that you see. That's why this matters so much, being present. Whatever you desire, your goals, your dreams, your future self, the version of you that you want to become, if thinking, okay, back to thinking, if thinking about it, those desires, those goals, the dream, the future, if thinking about it makes you feel good, if it makes you feel connected and alive, then you're already starting to come into alignment with the present moment. Why? How is this the case? Why? Because those thoughts are moving you towards what you want, not away from it. The moment you start thinking about what you fear, what you do not want, what can go wrong? What if this fails? What if I lose everything? What if it's collapse? Now you're moving out of alignment. You move out of the present. Now you have scattered energy. So again, the real question is, what are your thoughts doing to your state? Okay? If you notice now, this is the lesson today. Replay the lesson. If you know that the brain has 3 levels: the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the quantum, 5D. And in the 5D, all fields of possibilities exist, right? This rich you, the 100,000 a month month income you, every existence of you exists. But the subconscious mind, with the programming that's been installed, is plugging you to an outcome that was programmed by society, parents. We can go down the list, do that, but it's programmed. So what you're experiencing today has been programmed. It's the hidden subconscious block. This is why it's important to be present, be aware. What are you choosing for your thinking? What are you connected to when you're thinking? Are you thinking negative thoughts all day? Or are you thinking positive? If you're thinking negative thoughts, then you have a low frequency that's vibrating from you. And that means then you will continue to experience that in your reality. The universe moves through energy. Right? The universe, there are forces, electromagnetic forces that are happening, right? Vibration, frequency. Our bodies are electric and magnetic by nature. That's what our body's made of. We are constantly giving and receiving. We are constantly broadcasting and pulling information in. The information that we are receiving is interpreted through our state of consciousness, our state of being. That state has always been revealed in the present moment. So what are you feeling? What you focus on? Those are the frequencies helping to shape what you experience right now. The conscious mind is finite. The subconscious mind holds much deeper capacity. The subconscious mind, it stores all the memories, the experiences, your patterns, the automatic responses. So if you want to manifest what you have to do is line yourself up with what you want at the level of frequency and vibration. And you do that by becoming the thing you want. That's how you become a vibrational match. And the only way to do that, the only way to become the thing you want, to become that vibrational match, the only way to do that is through being present. To be in a heaven state. Before we wrap up today, let me get a quick walk in before it gets too hot. Too hot today, so I want to get a quick walk in. Got a busy schedule. But before we wrap, I have a free guide you can download called the Divine Identity Blueprint. This is not fluff. It's a framework for shifting how you operate under pressure, so your decisions and execution stop coming from an urgency or a panic or stress, and your decisions comes from a clarity in a controlled manner, in alignment. And let me be clear, it's not therapy. This is not therapy guide, so don't expect that. This is identity and performance training. Okay, the guide is free. I also do mentorship for a small number of high performers, if you're interested. And my mentorship, again, is not for beginners, right? Either way, get the guide. It's free. I think as we jump back into the lesson, today's lesson was really about helping you understand why presence matter if you want to manifest your desired reality. I wanted to show you that this is not just spiritual language. There's a deeper reason it works, right? There's a reason it works, one that can also be understood through the mind, through awareness, and even through the quantum perspective on how reality responds to your state of being, your state of consciousness. Now, here's the final thought I want to leave you with. If something is not normal to you, it will be very hard for it to ever show up in your life. If $1 million is not normal to you, it's going to be difficult to manifest $1 million. If a new home doesn't feel normal to you, it's going to be hard for that new home to ever show up in your house. If strong health is not normal to you, it will keep feeling like it's out of reach. Why? Because normalcy sets the boundary, right? Sets the baseline for your frequency. Whatever feels normal to you becomes the ceiling of what you allow yourself to receive. And not only receive it, hold it and materialize it. One person's dream is another person's normal. One person's luxury is another person's everyday life. One man's yearly salary is another man's monthly standard. That's why this matters so much. Until it feels normal, you will not manifest. You have to stop looking at your desired reality like a brand new car sitting in a dealership showroom. Something beautiful, but it's distant, it's separate from you. You have to start looking at it like an old car. You've already driven that car hundreds of times, thousands of times. Make it feel familiar. Make it natural to you. Make it as expected, and it's yours. And that's the lesson.